In this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how to increase show rates for your in-home estimates, specifically for flooring businesses. So a lot of people, they obsess on getting more leads, on getting those leads to book into in-home estimates, but they completely overlook one of the most important metrics, which is show rate. And when I mention show rate, it's like if you book, let's say 100 people and then 100 people show up, that means you have 100% show rate. But let's say you book 100 people and then 90 people show up because the other 10 either were not at the home or they canceled or they reschedule. Now you have like a 90% show rate. And let me just give you a quick example of this. Let's say there's two flooring businesses with the exact same metrics. Both that have the exact same cost per lead. Both have the exact same cost per booking. The only thing that changes is the show rate. So let's say business A, they book 100 in-home estimates in a month and they have like a 60% show rate. That means they actually did 60 in-home estimates. And then business B, they had 100 estimates booked, but they actually have like an 80% show rate. So that's 80 shows. You can see how only changing one metric and you're spending the same amount of money in advertising, that's 20 extra estimates per month without spending a single dollar more in advertising. Let's say you're doing Facebook ads, Google ads, you're buying leads from Angie's, it doesn't matter where. If you have a higher show rate, you're gonna make a lot more money without spending more money. And that's why it's so important to increase your show rate by so much. Like for example, out of those 20 extra estimates that you're getting, let's say you're closing 50% of them on the for the actual job. That's 10 extra jobs per month. And if your average job ticket size is $6,000, that's $60,000 more in revenue from the same amount of money that you're putting into advertising. So show rate is one of the highest leverage things that you can do to directly impact ROI without putting more money into marketing. And that's why this is very important to do. And just by context, I'm Ricardo. I'm the founder and CEO of FloorFocus. We've helped like dozens and a lot of flooring contractors, retailers, and shop at homes actually get more leads, get more bookings, and get more shows. And the number one thing we see that most people do wrong is that they don't really focus on the show rate. But this is the biggest lever you can pull because you don't have to put more money, you make more money. If you want to see if you want to schedule a call with our team on how we do that specifically, click the link down below and I'll be happy to help. But let me show you the 4 levers that you can pull on your business right now, or we can do it for you if you want to schedule a call below. But the 4 levers that you can pull in order to increase the show rate so you get more people to show up to those in-home estimates. So number 1 is going to be the booking window. So the further out an estimate is booked, the less likely someone is to show up, canceled, or be closed by another company. We all know, like, money loves speed. Let's say, for example, you get into a conversation with a company. You're looking for a flooring business to work with. And one of the businesses, you call them and they're like, hey, I don't have available until Monday of next week. And today's Monday. So it's 7 days out. And then the other one is like, yeah, today's Monday. I can go into your home 2 or 3 hours from now. Which company do you think is going to have a higher show rate and a higher chance of closing them? Obviously, option number 2, because you're gonna go to a lead's house when they're hot. So it's very important that you have a very low booking window. And when I say low, is that it's booked as quickly as possible. That way you have a high show rate, you have a low cancel rate, and you have a very high close rate as well. Because also you're giving them less chances to go to other companies, to look into other companies. Like for example, has it ever happened to you that maybe you book an estimate for like 5 days out and then they text you, oh, I'm sorry, I need to cancel. I already went to another company. That happens all the time if you're slow on your process. So what we recommend is that anything that's booked out more than 4 days out is going to have a really insignificant show rate. 3 to 5 days is the maximum you should allow. Ideally, you want to do same day or next day or even 2 days out. So typically what we do for our clients is that we typically want to book them the same day or the next day. So we typically do something like this. Like, hey, John, yeah, perfect. So I actually have available sometime later today in the afternoon, or I have like tomorrow morning. Which one works better for you? You always want to give them 2 options and don't give them the chance to book any other time. And if they say like, hey, no, I cannot do like close, you can do this. You can say like, hey, due to a high volume of estimates and interest in this promotion, it's going to be really hard to find a time that's further out than in the next 5 days, as the offer is only valid for a limited number of new homeowners. With that in mind, do you have any time at all in the next few days for us to come by for a free in-home consultation, right? So you want to basically steer the prospect that they have to do it as soon as possible. This is the biggest lever you can pull. If you just do this, your show rate is gonna go up by like 80 to 90%. Lever number two is availability. So limited availability forces the leads to book estimates that are inconvenient for them, which then dramatically increases the likelihood they're gonna no show, cancel, or go with another company. So for example, if you got people that work from 9 to 6, and they don't work on Saturdays, all the leads that also work from 9 to 6, they're not gonna be able to book an estimate with your team on Saturday. So that lead is never gonna go with your company just because you're not able to satisfy their needs, that they need an appointment on Saturday or an appointment on Sunday. Or let's say they work until 4, then they want an appointment at 6, or they want an appointment really early in the morning at 8 a.m. So what we see is that the best companies that have the most appointments, the higher show rates, and the higher close rates are the one that have the most availability on their calendar. So they always have times in the mornings, they always have times in the afternoons, they always have times in the evenings, and they also include the weekends as well. So for example, a good schedule would be from like 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. from Monday to Friday, and then Saturdays from like 8 to 4 or 8 to 6, right? And then that way, it doesn't matter when someone wants to book, we're gonna fit their availability. Because if you don't fit their availability, they're gonna go with another company. And especially if it's someone that's not from word of mouth and referrals. If it's word of mouth and referrals, they're gonna fit your availability because they know you, like you, and trust you. But if they come from cold leads, they're just gonna go with the next company. So you have to fit their availability. And that's what we highly recommend. For example, with our clients right now that we do this for them, we actually have a notification that tell us if their calendar doesn't have enough slots in the next 7 days, because that way we can reach the client and we can be like, hey, we need more availability because this is going to increase the show rate, decrease the show rate. Lever number 3 is what we call appointment nurture sequence. So a lot of people, what they do in the industry, they just book an estimate 7 days out, and they don't even remind them of the estimate. And then when it comes to the day of the estimate, they're calling to confirm, and then they don't even remember, or they don't show up, stuff like that. So it's very important to have a good nurture sequence. It's basically key to getting people to show up to your in-home estimate. The secret ingredient is leveraging the law of reciprocity. So a lot of people, what they do is they just say, if they have reminders, most of the time they don't even have the reminders, but if they have reminders, it's gonna be like this. They're gonna say like, hey, I'm just reminding you of your estimate tomorrow at 2 p.m. Or I'm just reminding you about your estimate, right? Like, you don't have any reciprocity. You actually wanna give them an opportunity to want to show up because you're giving them value. So for example, you can tell them, like, hey, yeah, I'm just preparing here. I'm checking out all the samples in our store. Is there any specific samples that you want us to see together tomorrow? And then that way they can start seeing they're actually working for it, and they would want to show up. Or for example, you can tell them like, hey, we actually are gonna give you a free design consultation tomorrow. Are you still good at that time? Right? You're giving them something for free. So when you give them something for free and you have reciprocity, they're gonna have a higher chance of showing up because they're gonna feel bad if they cancel. So typically you want to confirm, and you also want to confirm the estimate so you have a higher show rate. So for example, you want to send them your website, you want to send them your Google reviews, you want to send also the basic reminders 24 hours and 3 hours before, and you also want to send the value that I just talked about. Also, you want to do it through calls. You want to call them 24 hours before, 3 hours before. And I know this sounds like a lot, because if you have a lot of leads, how are you going to do it? But we automate all this with all of our clients with automations, and we have a team, a confirmation specialist who's calling the leads for you. So if you want to see how we do that at scale, click the link on the bottom below, schedule a call, and we'll be happy to show you how our process works. In terms of lever number 4 and the last one, this is what I haven't really seen any business that does this, but it's going to really make you different than everybody else. You have to implement a pre-appointment video into the nurture sequence that can significantly boost show rates and also increase confidence and close rates. So I just call this the rule of 1. When you book the estimate, you're gonna tell them, hey, I'm gonna actually send you a video before you actually we go to your home. It's gonna be a 5 to 10 minute video just breaking down our business, what we do, how we're different, and what to expect on your in-home estimate. And then that's it. Then you send them that video. And it's going to be a video that you film professionally and just saying like, you talk about your business. You can even show your story if you have a store. You can talk about what to expect on the in-home estimate. And then that way they can start seeing that you're a legit company. You're real people. And then that way when you go to the home, they have a lot more trust in you, and they won't want to like cancel the appointment, and they would also have a higher close rate. So that's basically everything. Those are the four biggest levers that you can do to boost show rates. If you implement all this four, you're gonna get 90% plus show rates. And this is what we do for all of our clients. So again, if you wanna check us out, click the link below and we'll be happy to help you. But that's all for me today.